Today on Ian vs. Daddybones, I'm adding to my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection by opening up Shredder and the Foot Soldier.
Oh boy, kids, we're gonna have fun today!
Yay! Hey! Alright!
How is everyone doing tonight?
Welcome back! It's another exciting episode of Ian vs. Daddybones. I'm Ian Daddybones. It is officially episode 25. By the time you are watching this, I should officially be 3 weeks caught up with Ian vs. Daddybones. The Original Geeks podcast has officially relaunched on Patreon. I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed to check that out. I'm of course speaking from the past before I get to the future, so I'm hoping people actually signed up for the Original Geeks podcast, so I'm not sitting here looking like an asshole. But either way, what's up to all the YouTube subscribers? Special high five and a knuck dap to all the Patreon subscribers, throwing me $1 for 30 days of bonus content and getting your name in the credits. At this point, like I said, I am 25 episodes deep with Ian vs. Daddybones. There is plenty of bonus content on the Patreon, well worthy of your $1 a month, even though you have the option of throwing me more. I totally appreciate and love all of my Patreon subscribers. But today on the show, I am officially adding to my loyal subjects BST, AXN, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. Now, I opened the 4 Ninja Turtles on a previous episode of Ian vs. Daddybones, and again I'm trying to do that post-production YouTube magic, so hopefully up in the corner there'll be that little clickable link so you can jump right to that episode to watch me open up the Ninja Turtles. And that's the thing with this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line, you know, like I said, when I opened up the 4 Turtles, I didn't really know where I wanted to start when it came to jumping into a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. And originally, I had no intentions of like buying anything other than Masters of the Universe. You know what I mean? It was trouble enough getting my wife to, you know, just be calm, chill, and relaxed to me adding He-Man figures and starting a collection with that to, you know, find something to do since Double O Drunk passed away in pandemic downtime. But basically, over last summer, while I was in the midst of collecting Masters of the Universe Origins, it was last summer, we were actually in the car on our way to Knoebels in Pennsylvania to have a family day trip where me, my wife, and the kids, we were going to go to Knoebels and spend the day at the amusement park and go on rides and have food and enjoy the family time together. And while we were in the car, you know, my wife was driving, I'm riding shotgun, and I'm on my phone, and I'm just doing whatever the fuck on the internet. And I was on Big Bad Toy Store, and I was just looking around and shit, just trying to pass time in the car. You know, we had a 2-hour drive to Knoebels, so I'm sitting there in the car, and to make the time go by quicker, I was flipping through my phone, and while I was looking on Big Bad Toy Store, I was looking at all the different Ninja Turtle stuff they had. And that's the thing with, you know, it doesn't matter what the brand is. Usually, when it comes to action figures, a lot of companies have the licenses, you know what I mean, for the brands. So like when it comes to Ninja Turtles in particular, you got NECA that's been making Ninja Turtles figures for years. Like Playmates, you know, is OG Ninja Turtles since the very beginning, and even today, like Playmates has the retro style Ninja Turtle figures on the retro style card backs, and those have been popping up in stores. I've been seeing them in Target and shit. And also you have you know, you got loyal subjects making Ninja Turtle figures. And based on what I've been seeing, like the NECA is budget friendly, but kind of expensive budget friendly. Like basically, if you could basically afford to buy a brand new PlayStation 5, you know what I mean, even at the time PlayStation 4 game, you know what I mean, for the price of a brand new video game is like the price of like, you know, a NECA Ninja Turtle figure. Them shits are like, you know, out of my budget, but I know a lot of people that definitely love collecting the NECA Ninja Turtle line. Like, shout out to my homie Eric Pinhat. He has an amazing collection of NECA Ninja Turtle figures, and as I'm sharing pictures with him of stuff I'm adding to my collection, Eric is also opening up his stuff and putting his stuff on shelf, and Eric takes pictures of his figures, and he's an amazing photographer, and Eric's helped me out with a couple of the Mattel WWE Superstars figures that I've been buying. But basically, when I was looking over Big Bad Toy Store and looking at all the Ninja Turtle shit they had, you know, I came across this Loyal Subjects BST AXN line. I don't know. I wasn't really familiar with it when I was first getting introduced to it. I'm like, okay, is the company BST AXN? Is the company Loyal Subjects? What's exactly going on here? Because it's like, reality is, like, looking at this figure, like, I see BST AXN more on the packaging than I see the Loyal Subjects, and the only time I see the Loyal Subjects is on the back where it shows the .com for the website and whatnot. But basically, you know, for the budget I'm spending on Masters of the Universe, like as far as the price of an Origins figure and comparing it to a Masterverse figure, like these are pretty much in the middle, right around the same price. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. So when I was looking at the website, you know, I looked at the 4 turtles because I'm like, and at that point, when it comes to Masters of the Universe Origins, I was already caught up on Wave 8. Wave 9 was pre-ordered. I was waiting for Wave 9 to arrive, and I knew once I had Wave 8 and 9, it was going to be a quick minute before Wave 10 was available. So I figured in the downtime, you know, I might as well jump on the 4 Ninja Turtles. So the 4 Ninja Turtles were available for pre-order. They must have been available previously. They sold out, and then they had to order more. So now they were having pre-orders open for the upcoming shipment. So I managed to pre-order the 4 turtles, got them shipped to the house, and over the course of the summer, over the course of the end of the summer through the early fall, they pretty much just sat in a box while I was figuring out what I was going to do with everything. And by figuring out what I was going to do with everything was basically everything that was coming to fruition with the creation of Ian versus Daddybones. Like, I knew I was going to open them at some point, but I wanted to do it at the right time, and that's the thing. I was getting I was having all this stuff, and I'm like, and I none of it was opened, and that's pretty much what kickstarted me starting this podcast again. And that's the thing. Like, I besides the Masters of the Universe and the Masterverse, I started collecting this Ninja Turtle line. Like I said, it's affordable, it's budget friendly, and I've had a lot of fun with it. The one thing I've noticed, and I've seen the biggest complaint going around the internet when it comes to these figures is some people feel they're assembled poorly. And I can say from personal experience, you got to look into the construction of the toys. You know what I mean? Like I will say, for example, like I'm just gonna take Donatello here, so I have something in my hand to look at and reference. Like these toys are, I mean, they're made out of plastic. That's a given. But like, there's no metal like pins in these figures. You know, I don't know much about much about action figure design manufacturing, even though I've seen some videos. So it's like, I know it's you know what I know it's molds and shit and whatnot. But basically, what I'm trying to fast track to is, in today's age of 3D printers and what people are able to make at their house on their own, and I think it's absolutely fascinating. And the reason I think 3D printers are absolutely fascinating is, to me, as a video gamer, it makes me think back to when I played Resident Evil Code Veronica for the first time, and Claire Redfield had this mission, and this mission was she needed to at the end of the day she needed to make a 3D copy of a medallion so she could unlock a door. And for anybody who's played Resident Evil Code Veronica, you know what I'm talking about. This is the whole dump your weapons and shit in the item box, make your way through the doorway into the lab. And basically in the year 2001, while I'm playing Resident Evil Code Veronica for the first time, you know, back when I was 21, 22 years old playing this, that type of technology, that type of concept, like just being able to make a 3D copy of something just from like fucking lasers and shit, like just was like holy shit, you know. I thought I was fascinated with it. I think it's absolutely incredible. And then fast forward, you know, 22 years later, fucking here we are, and now we have like 3D printers and shit, and the stuff people are able to make with 3D printers. And I'm even looking at it like some of the wacky shit, like somebody 3D printed like this plastic, like this shark skeleton, but the way it 3D printed, like everything printed like it was interlocked together. So like they like snapped it off its base and got the little plastic like abstract, whatever the fuck, the residue, whatever you call it. And then once they were able to like, it was completely free. It's just wiggling and moving like an actual fucking, you know, shark skeleton. I just thought, you know, it's shit like that I think's fucking incredible. And like people can make 3D miniatures for like role-playing games with their 3D printer. People can make like replacement action figure accessories and weapons with a 3D printer. So basically what I'm getting at is these Ninja Turtles look like they could have been made on a 3D printer. You know what I mean? It just had these pieces snapped together and assemble. And you know, like I will say they feel like a cheaper quality Ninja Turtle figure, but that doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? I'm only spending $20 on these figures. I'm not expecting the world. Like I've spent more money on less plastic for my 2-year-old. You know what I mean? Like I could go to Target and I could spend like $15 on like a fucking Bluey 2-pack where you get Bingo, you get her friend Lila, and they come with like a little teapot and these little teacups, and they want $15 fucking for that goddamn thing. Meanwhile, they're charging $20 for like the Bluey garbage truck with like 2 garbage bins, and you got the driver for the garbage truck. And it has an action feature where it's got a lever that picks up the garbage cans and empties out the bins and whatnot. So it's like, I've spent more money for less plastic, and I knew what I was getting into when I bought these because I've done some research on it. And, you know, with my own experience, out of the 4 Ninja Turtles that I opened, at least 2 of them came apart while I was taking them out of the package. Like, I gotta go back and watch the video, or better yet, you can watch the video if you subscribe to the Patreon for $1. You go watch the video, you check it out, you leave a comment and interact and let me know what you think as far as the quality of these things go. But like, I had the leg pop off of Raphael, but it wasn't a big deal because the leg popped right back on the fucking Ninja Turtle and everything was straight. And that's the thing, like I said, you know, for the most part, and my wife will bust my balls, because my wife will bust my balls and like tell the 2-year-old, they're like, oh yeah, you can go play with Daddy's toys, and it's like, no, she can't play with my toys at all. Why do you say shit like that? Because you just trigger my fucking anxiety, and I have a panic attack thinking Sadie's gonna get into my action figures, and yeah, fucking, but, you know, I get it, they're toys, and to others, they're collectibles, and that's the thing, you know, whatever they are to you. And that's the thing. To me, I like putting them on a shelf. I like putting them on display. At some point, I'm going to invest in additional shelves. You know, I mean, one of those shelves, I kind of want to be one of those, like, stackable cube systems. So, like, I could have, like, the whole cube be, like, you know, I could put, like, all the Ninja Turtles on, like, one of the insides of the cubes, and that's my turtle display. Like, that's what I'm going for, like, at the end of the day. So, I'm just putting them on display. I'm not playing with them. I'm not really concerned about moving all the parts, because unless I'm posing them for photos, that's the only time they're getting moved. Other than that, they're in a pose to where I know they're going to stand up and not fall the fuck over. So that's all I really care about. And, you know, as far as these 4 Ninja Turtles standing up right now, they look pretty dope as hell. You know, the green is very bright and pops. My only complaint about the Turtles looking back is, and it's weird because I guess it depends what kind of kid you were. You know what I mean? Like with the original Playmates Ninja Turtle figures, the 4 turtles were different shades of green. You know what I mean? But these Ninja Turtles were the same shade of green, and that's the thing. Like the BST, AXN, these line of figures, they have multiple turtle sub-brands within the Ninja Turtles license. Like they have the Mirage line of action figures where all the turtles are wearing red bandanas, and then or masks, whatever you want to fucking call it. And then they have the cartoon, you know, the 80s cartoon Ninja Turtles, and they also have a line of Ninja Turtles figures based on the video games, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 are considered as its own sub-brand within Ninja Turtles. So BST, AXN have all three sub-brands of those Ninja Turtle lines under the Ninja Turtles banner, and they're all the same scale. And that's the thing, you know, there's different scales with different brands and different figures like NECA and Super 7. You know what I mean? They're all different, even though it's all Ninja Turtles. You know, you got your different scales of your figures. I like these because one of my biggest thing as a kid was there were so many cool toy lines and toy brands, but the problem was everything was a different scale. You know, and I know in like the movies Toy Story and its sequels, with all the toys coming together, because the one thing they have in common is they're all toys, and you know, they're Andy's toys. That's what unites them. But they're all different scales and shit. But to me, with my toy box, with my toys when I was a kid, I hated the fact that everything was like a different scale. You know what I mean? Like the Superpowers and the Secret Wars were like the same scale, but like that you have the LJN WWF Superstars. I had my He-Man figures, and I had that one Christmas where I got that one sectoid figure. Even I had no other sectoid shit, but I had that one guy. And I also think I had a sectoids vehicle that had nothing to do with the character that I actually got. I think I got that sectoid figure where it was like that spider glove fucking thing. I definitely remember it being the glove that you wore on your hand and whatnot. And I just remembered I liked sectoids as a kid, but I only had those 1-2 toys, and those were the only ones I had. But basically what I'm getting at is between Masters of the Universe, you know what I mean? And you got the Voltron robots and G.I. Joes and, you know, Transformers, and Thundercats, everything was a different fucking scale, and it was just, you know, every kid's toy box was just a hodgepodge of like mixed fucking toys and shit. And that's the thing with my adult collecting. I at least like everything being somewhat on a similar scale. Like these aren't identical with the scale of Origins, but they're close enough when I put them on the shelf. When I put them on the shelf, you know, even though the Turtles are a little slightly shorter than He-Man, it's okay. Because honestly, when they make Ninja Turtles where they're like super tall and jacked than the humans, then it gets kind of a little fucking weird. Like, wait a minute. Like, wait a minute. I thought y'all were supposed to be teenagers. Y'all look like middle-aged men. You got bodybuilders. You're jacked like bodybuilders, and you're supposed to be fucking teenagers. But yeah, I bought the 4 Turtles. and I knew at some point I was gonna pick up where I left off and add to this line, and I kept my eyes open, checking back at Big Bad Toy Store, and for the most part, a lot of their stuff was sold out, and I wasn't sure when stuff was coming back in stock, but thankfully I follow their shit on their various social media pages, so I'm in the loop if I'm on one platform or another. YouTube is usually good at letting me know when Big Bad Toy Store is having sales. Twitter is good at letting me know when Big Bad Toy Store is restocking stuff, and even their Facebook pages are constantly basically telling me the same thing that the other sites are telling me. So on my online hunts, just keeping my eyes peeled, you know, I noticed one day, you know, hey, they got Shredder back in stock, so I bought Shredder, added him to my pile of loot, grabbed the Foot Soldier, added him to my pile of loot, added Casey Jones to the pile of loot, because that's what I'm saying. Like right now, today, I'm going to be opening up the Foot Soldier and the Shredder, but I also wound up grabbing Casey Jones, and I wound up grabbing Bebop. So there's going to be a part 2 of this episode coming out at some point, but today I'm just going to focus on Shredder and the Foot Soldier. But like I said, I added Bebop to the mix, I added Casey Jones to the mix. So right now I'm having a nice little core collection of like basic main characters for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you know, I'm just keeping it uniform with this BST AXN line, and you know, I'm sure it's gonna be hit or miss. When I open up Foot Soldier and I open up Shredder, I may run into issues where somebody may have a loose joint that pops on, but it's gonna pop right back on. And if it doesn't, then I'll be in contact with Big Bad Toy Store about getting a replacement or a refund. But we'll see what the fuck happens with that. But like I said, there's more figures in the line. I got Bebop. I would have had Rocksteady, but Rocksteady was not available. Rocksteady was sold out. I'm waiting for him to get restocked. I have April O'Neil pre-ordered. They have April O'Neil available for pre-order. They got a Casey Jones variant coming out, because right now there's like 3 Casey Jones available. I have the cartoon Casey Jones, and he's got like the wood colored deco on his weapons. But then they have another Casey Jones that glows in the dark, and his weapons are all green, and his golf bag is green, and I believe that Casey Jones has a skull face as well. And they have another Casey Jones that's coming out where he's got some red, white, and blue variant of his hockey mask that actually comes across looking more like Cody Rhodes' fucking neck tattoo. So you got Cody Rhodes, Casey Jones, April O'Neil, and trying to think who the other character that's coming out is. But I know I need to add Splinter, I need to add Rocksteady, I need to add April, and right there I'll be off to a good start with this line. All right, let's get started on this Shredder, because I'm absolutely super excited to open him up. Let me get the Foot Soldier out of the way. I want to say thank you to my Patreon subscribers. Y'all paid for the pretty background lights that I got to add to the set. You guys are super dope, and I appreciate the fuck out of you, and that's why y'all are gonna get the exclusive footage of me opening up this super sick ass Krang. And that's the thing, I can't wait to talk about that. Because even before I bought Shredder, I got the ad from Big Bad Toy Store that they were going to have Krang available for pre-order, and I definitely wanted to jump on that. Right. Side of his box is going to open pretty good, but he's got actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, from opening up the turtles, I never needed to take off those seals. I don't believe. I do have to take that out. Cause I know when I opened up the Ninja Turtles, I wound up fucking up the Donatello box because I found out after I opened up Donatello, oh shit, I could actually open these up the other way. The only thing that sucks some of this packaging is like super dope and decorative, but at the same time it's a pain in the ass. So I really don't want to damage the fucking package. Pain in the ass of the Donatello figure. Alright. So, Shredder's got 31 points of articulation, and the back of his package says, Shredder Oroku Saki, also known as the Shredder, is the leader of the Foot Clan. Armed with alien technology from Krang, he brought his crime wave to New York City to search out and defeat his rival Hamato Yoshi, aka Master Splinter. Little plastic tray. It lifts up. Now, this is a nice little clear display box. Oh, look at that shit! He falls right up. Not even tied down. Not even bound. One thing I will say, it's not a complaint. Because I understand the scale of the figure, and especially if they're basing it off the animated Shredder, voiced by James Avery. And he's got these hands that make it look like he wants a hug. But he also comes with these two gripping hands. And they got the Shredder claws on the hands. Comes with a ninja sword. And he also comes with his spear. I mean, compared to the Turtle, I mean, yeah, it is cartoon Shredder, but it's so weird. It's like, he doesn't seem like much of a threat when it comes to an enemy. I kind of feel that Shredder should be bigger. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Not necessarily a complaint, even though I guess it kind of is a complaint. I feel that Shredder could have been a little bit bigger. But I know once I get that Krang out of that box, that Krang is going to giant over everything. And that Krang is in scale with this line. So the size of that Krang is what that Krang is supposed to be. So you got Shredder. Let's see here. Let's pop off his hands. There we go. His hands just pop off. Because, I mean, kind of want him to hold on to a weapon. Then you hear that little click. His hands pop in without no issue whatsoever. There you go. He's got his little soft, pliable. Now, let's see here. Now this seems like it's going to be the only issue. Maybe I'll have better luck with this hand. Or you know what? I'm not even going to worry about the sword. Okay, I will say, after putting his other arm on, I will say I'm not the biggest fan of his elbow joints. He looks like he's got the double jointed elbow, but it honestly looks like such a shoddy elbow joint. So I can see where some people are talking about the quality, but like I said, for the purpose of having him on display, I don't see it really being much of an issue. Like I said, he's not being played with. He's basically just being posed, and but yeah, that's Shredder. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to save it. I don't know if I can really save it. I mean, it's a dope looking figure, but it just makes me think of the Shredder I had with the Playmates line. Even though I thought the way that Shredder was always posed, like that Shredder always looked like he was taking a shit. You know what I mean? He always looked like he was sitting on an invisible toilet. But at least he looked like he looked like a threat. Like, not saying the Shredder doesn't look like a threat, but there's a difference between the Shredder that was drawn in the animated series. There's the Shredder the way he was drawn in the comics, and in the live action movie version of Shredder, even the sequel version of Shredder. There's been an evolution of Shredder, and I always felt that the cartoon Shredder was always super skinny, and he always had like diabolical ideas, plans, but at the end of the day, he was always foiled, so his good ideas were never really great ideas, you know, but I will always look at that Shredder as being the Shredder that will be like, with this disc, once I put it into this supercomputer, I will take over the world's other supercomputers and take over the world. You know what I mean? Where all the 90s villains, as long as they had a CD or one floppy disk, they could just put it into a fucking computer and shut everything down. But yeah, there we go. We got the Shredder. I don't know. I kind of feel maybe he could have been a little bit bigger, especially considering, like, I don't know. I feel like compared to the Ninja Turtles, he's got lady arms, which is okay, because I got, like, skinny lady arms. So I can't really be too hard on another skinny guy for being skinny when I'm probably just as skinny. So even if I cosplayed as the Shredder, I probably look like that fucking guy. But moving on to our Foot Soldier. Foot Soldier. The Foot is an ancient ninjutsu clan founded in Japan in 1583. After taking control of the clan, the Shredder moved them to New York City and replaced human soldiers with robots. They may not be the best fighters, but there is strength in numbers. And that's the thing too with the Foot Soldiers, you know? Depending on what type of media you're watching, whether it's a live action movie, reading a comic, you're watching a cartoon. And honestly too, at this point, I know I've referenced, you know, the 80s cartoon, but over the course of the past 20 years, there's been numerous Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. You know, you had the 2003 like Ninja Turtles reboot. You have like the 2012 Nickelodeon reboot when Nickelodeon took over Ninja Turtles. You also have the most modern reboot of Ninja Turtles that's also on Nickelodeon. So it's like the Foot's always evolved. Like sometimes the Foot Soldiers are humans, sometimes the Foot Soldiers are robots. But honestly, that's the thing too with like the Saturday morning cartoon. The Foot Soldiers had to be robots because the thing with the Saturday morning cartoon, and in some places it was a weekday afternoon cartoon. But basically, with the 80s Ninja Turtles cartoon, they had to be robots because for the purpose of like cartoons and whatnot. They couldn't show the Ninja Turtles like beating up real people, killing real people. You know what I mean? Not that the Ninja Turtles killed, but I'm just saying, like, hold on a second. Let me get this fucking piece of plastic out. Hate this shit. There we go. So like, and it's like the same thing with like He-Man, like destroying Horde Troopers. You know, it was okay for He-Man to destroy Horde Troopers because they're fucking robots. But it made sense. But it made sense in the live-action movie to have the foot soldiers be real people, because that way you can relate to the one kid in the movie, because you're like, oh no, you don't want him joining the foot. But here we go with the foot soldier. Now, the one thing I'm gonna say with this foot soldier, and I don't have an issue with the foot soldier, I like it, but I feel this is where you definitely more than one foot soldier. This guy comes with so many fucking accessories that there's not even enough hands for him to hold on a second, I'm trying to get this foot moved. There we go. There's not even enough this guy doesn't have enough hands or fucking arms to hold everything that comes with this guy. But, well, hold on, let me get him somewhat into position. His head doesn't really want to fucking move. There it goes. Alright. There you go. You got your foot soldier. Looking pretty dope. Is he gonna stand? Not really. But, at some point. Eventually he will. There he goes. Foot soldier. Let's see. What does he all come with? Dump out all this shit. All right. Like Shredder, he comes with extra hands. He comes with he comes with creepy grabby hands. He comes with jack off hands so he can hold something. He comes with accessories. Now he comes with 2 ninja stars. And I'm just going to say, for the purpose of action figures, I hate these goddamn things. I hate the fucking shurikens so bad, and the ninja stars, because I feel they're just like, what a waste of a plastic, even though I appreciate the attention to detail. It's just like, they're always the first things to get lost, you know what I mean? And they're never anybody's first choice to be the accessory of choice to display with your figure. Like this foot soldier. He comes with a spear, you know? Dope looking spear. He comes with a ninja sword. Actually really cool ninja sword, and now that I think about it, it kind of looks like a better katana than the ones that come with Leonardo. But he also comes with this gun, which I think is pretty dope, even though it's weird because they're ninjas. I mean, don't get me wrong, for like the purpose of video games and shit, like you have your different like colors and levels of foot soldiers for like being video game enemies. So at some point you're gonna have the guys that have the guns. But I always feel like the foot soldiers should have the spears, should have, you know, the ninja type weapons. You know, unless they're on a mission, like they're robbing a bank, or they're breaking into a warehouse and stealing a bunch of shit, or even if they're like breaking into Walmart, it's okay to have the guns. But for like fighting the Ninja Turtles and shit, you expect them to have like the traditional ninjutsu weapons. So it's great that that he comes with all this shit. But I feel like the foot soldier should have came with a second foot soldier. It would have made more sense, because you could have had a variety where, like, okay, this guy could have one open hand, this guy could have the creepy grabby hand. So this guy could be holding the sword, this other guy could be holding the fucking gun, and he could put one of the ninja stars and shit. So, you know, however you want to accessorize your foot soldiers, completely up to you. But I just feel, just based on the size of the figure, especially considering, like, you know, like I said, these didn't break my wallet, but the fact that it was a $20 foot soldier. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like he at least probably should have came with a homie. He should have came with another foot soldier for the purpose of having an army build, because that way you could have the shredder, 2 foot soldiers, you know what I mean? You got a little squad of 3, and for the purpose of your display, it look pretty fucking fresh. But overall, I don't know if they're gonna come out with additional types of foot soldiers, or if these are going to be the only ones they have. I may pick up another one down the line. I'm not sure yet. I've always been a fan of army build figures, even though I've never been the biggest fan of army build figures. There's just, because, you know, I feel like if I get another Horde Trooper, it's going to take away from me getting this other character that I'm looking for. If I get another Eternian Palace Guard, it's gonna take me away from making sure I acquire another character that I'm looking for. And, you know, I rather have one and be done and move on, rather than worry about stockpiling a bunch of army builds, even though these are the type of characters that you snatch up when they're on sale, when they're on clearance. Because, I mean, why pay full price for a character you already have? If you could get an army build type character for 50% off, it's definitely a deal. All right, I had to adjust my camera real quick. I got Natalia on the other end of the camera this week because she and I went and saw Super Mario Brothers earlier. And I wanted to knock out an episode of the show today. So I got Natalia helping me out, and I got her keeping an eye on the camera battery. And I was almost at the end of my timer after opening up Shredder and the Foot Soldier. So I reset the camera, and fucking here we are. But yeah, overall, it's nice to add them to collection. I officially got 2 villains and 4 heroes in this line, and on an upcoming episode of the show, I'm going to be opening up Bebop, I'm going to be opening up Casey Jones, and we'll see what happens in the future when it comes to adding other figures to this line. Like I said, I got April O'Neil on pre-order. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for Master Splinter, keeping my eyes peeled for Rocksteady. Now, they do have a Rocksteady available, but it's not the Rocksteady I'm looking for. It's actually the Rocksteady from the video game sub-brand. And I believe they also have the 80s Mirage Rocksteady, but I'm looking for the late 80s, 90s cartoon Rocksteady, and I'm checking around for him. I like going through the retailers that I'm comfortable with and that I trust and I've been doing a lot of business with, to continue doing business with them. But I also have some other friends and people I know that own some shops that I've been checking around with, seeing if they will keep me posted if they get a Rocksteady that happens to wander into their store. But that's pretty much going to do it for this week's episode of the show, because I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning. I had to be to work at 6. I knocked out a shift this morning. I came home for a little bit, hung out with the wife and the kids because they're on Easter break this week. My daughter and I went and saw Super Mario Brothers, and then we had dinner, and then we came here to record a show. So I am absolutely exhausted, and I still have the bonus footage to film opening up the Krang. So I want to thank everybody for checking out this episode of Ian vs. Daddybones, officially episode 25. And at this point, that's all I ask of my viewers and my subscribers. Just help me get the name out. Just share the links, comment, interact. You know, if I post something on social media and you see it, just smash that share button. You know, help get it out there. We're trying to build these numbers up on the YouTube channel. Right now, you know, we gotta have baby goals before we have big goals. Right now, a baby goal is I want to get to 200 subscribers. At some point, I want to get that subscriber number super jacked to where someday my son and I could earn one of those dope YouTube plaques that we could put on our wall. And again, everybody that subscribes to the Patreon, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate and I love each and every one of you. You are helping us grow the brand. You've already contributed to this show over the course of the past 25 episodes. You know, y'all took care of these background lights. Y'all took care of the new ring light I have front lighting this bitch. You also took care of my new expandable hard drive for the purpose of editing the show when I get home. So yeah, thank you very much. You guys are definitely helping me grow the brand, and I'm nothing without the Patreon subscribers, but I'm definitely glad you're here, and I thank everybody for checking out the show. And again, we're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Patreon. My name is Ian Daddybones, and we will see you next week on Ian versus Daddybones. Cheers, Pete!